Hey, Ron Douglas here, along with my buddy John Lawson. What's up, guys? If you're on YouTube, you can hit the subscribe button. You might see it on either of our channels. And we're just going to record this. And if you guys can hear me first, let me know. And okay, looks like you guys can hear me. So my buddy John Lawson is a good friend of mine. He's been doing online marketing probably 20 years. He's an e-com specialist. He does coaching. He writes books. He's a best-selling author. And he has a better goatee than I do. So wanted to bring him on. The Walt Clyde Frazier thing happening.
That's good. All right.
Yeah. He wrote a book called what was it, Social Commerce?
Kick-ass social commerce. I actually have a copy right here.
Nice. You're ready. You're ready. So if you guys want to learn about social commerce, applying social media to e-commerce, you want to pick up that book. So we wanted to come on here today. I assume you know who I am, Ron Douglas, New York Times best-selling author, specializing in gray hair growing and working from my basement since 2001. So
Hey, that's a lot, bro.
in a
That's a
nutshell.
lot.
So
Working from, I think that do you have that on like a sign somewhere? Working from my basement since 2001.
yeah, I should. I have like man
Yeah.
cave. I was thinking about like going with a man cave type brand at one point, but I had so many branding ideas. I'm an expert at helping other people establish brands, like Tommy Traffic, Tommy Powers. I gave him
Oh,
that brand.
you did? Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
gave Monique one. I've just been giving out brands, but when it comes to my own personal brand, I'm like awful. My buddy Onyx Singal, I started calling him eight-figure Onyx because everything he does turns to eight figures. He hasn't quite adopted it yet, but I'm trying to make that one stick.
Yeah. I think that, oh, okay. All right. I didn't know you had that talent.
Yeah, apparently for everyone except myself. Like I can't commit to one.
Well,
I can come up with a dozen.
most barbers can't cut their own hair either. So,
I actually do cut my own hair. That's why my
well,
hairline
and
is crooked, I suppose.
look, and you're not a barber.
Right. Well, true. I was in college actually. I had a little barber shop. Not to try to prove you wrong here. You're right. I'm not a professional barber.
I cut my own hair too, though. So
It's easy peasy, right?
it's pretty easy at this point if you do something long enough.
True. So today
All right.
we're going to talk about 2023. Happy New Year and welcome to 2023. And we're going to talk about some trends, 5 trends that we think are hot, think you should know about, and think you should focus on and be able to capitalize on. And one of them we're actually doing right now. Let me put my phone on mute. Um, Community. Well, we're going to talk about, well, I'll give you the 5 trends. BizOp is going to be huge again this year, mainly because we're going into recession and BizOp does really well in a recession, does even better in a pandemic. Like the worse things are for people, the better it is for me. And that sounds terrible, but it's just like 2020 was a great year for me. I mean, it was a terrible year, but business-wise, I couldn't help. People just were interested in BizOp, and I lost family to the COVID and all that stuff. So it wasn't I'm joking, obviously, before
Right.
people start flaming me in the comments.
You're gonna
I'm
get it.
joking, but it was a terrible year socially, terrible year for life, but great year for revenue and great year for people coming online. And it was a great year in terms of mainstream legitimizing business opportunities and side gigs and staying at home and work from home opportunities. I talk about this a lot. Like big publications like CNBC had their CNBC Make It thing, which is all about like business opportunities and different things like that, and case studies of people that are crushing it with little side gigs and what they're doing. So they really legitimize that to the point where now it's you don't have to address that concern of, is this possible? Is this a scam? Because everybody seems to know someone that is making money online or making money with a business opportunity. So
Huge.
yeah. So let me give you the other ones before we jump back into that one. So BizOp is going to be huge again. Facebook ads will become more reasonable, and I'll tell you
Hmm.
why. John may disagree with me, but I'm going to tell you why.
Hmm.
Short form video short videos, shorts. What's the one they call on Facebook Reels? Is Instagram, is that Reels also?
Instagram, yeah, isn't it? I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
but you know what I'm saying. Less than
But
a minute
YouTube
type
Shorts, that's
videos.
the one I'm cool.
Right. So short form video to kind of brand yourself, and then long leading into long form content, sales page or BSL or webinar or application, jumping on the phone with somebody. So short form leading in the long form, and then community, as I mentioned a little while ago, community is going to be huge. I'll tell you why. And artificial intelligence, AI, is going to be huge. It's already like the hot trend right now. So we're going to talk about those 5 topics. And so the first one we talked about a bit already with the BizOp thing and the Great Resignation. People not wanting to go to work. People looking for side gigs. People looking for opportunities at home. And for customers of mine that, especially in my apps program, it couldn't be a better situation than that because it's more demand for all of those webinars on Experts Classroom and you guys being able to capitalize off of it. John also works with Traffic Sales and Profit, which is a company specializing in helping small businesses get more traffic, more sales, more profits using the internet. What would you say? What are you seeing over there in terms of that trend?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know. I don't does it ever like ebb? It seems like it just keeps going, keeps going, and keeps going. I mean,
Yeah,
do you
it's always
do you
steady,
think
but then
that
you have these pops, I
you have
think.
these pops? So are you saying that it pops only when it's bad economy, or do you see pops when it's good economies too?
I think it's a steady trend upwards, but then pops. Like 2020 was a pop. This year, when because more people, when people have jobs, they don't have time to focus on it like they would have when they don't have jobs. So when unemployment spikes, more
Hmm.
people. So
Look
it's probably
for
a direct correlation. You could probably chart it. Biz op demand and unemployment probably goes hand in hand. And vice versa. Biz op demand kind of drops when unemployment drops, I would say.
I know we did have record people applying for EIN numbers in 2020. Like so many businesses were getting started in 2020. So I don't know if that went all the way through 2021 and 2022, but yes, 2020 was huge. And I don't know. Are you saying 2023 is going to be a slow year?
No, no, I'm saying 2023 is going to be a recession.
You think so?
Unemployment's going to spike. People haven't really started laying off like they're going to. Towards probably like when they started doing they started doing their budgets and for the year, and I think pretty much everybody's forecasting a slowdown, and it's obviously Fed driven, raising interest rates, sucking money, sucking capital out of the economy, kind of correcting. So we had a long period of the Fed just there was a thing called the Fed put. Every time the economy would every time the stock market would go down to a certain point, the Fed would do something or cut rates or announce something. Or every time the economy looked like it was bleak, the Fed would start cutting rates and flooding the market with capital. And then COVID came and they increased the money supply, like not just the Fed, but the federal government as
Yes.
well increased the money supply. What was it? 40% of all the money in the system was in 2020. They're just printing money like crazy.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
it's going to be the same way there was a big boom during those periods where they artificially prop things up. Artificially, they didn't let a recession happen. Recessions are part of the normal cycle, right? So the longer you go not letting the normal cycle take place, the harder it's going to be when you finally pull all that back. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not projecting another great recession, but I think we're probably going to have a longer period of problematic economic uh, factors than we think,
So
because of that long period.
in our e-commerce world, of course 2020 was a huge spike. right? Because you couldn't even go to the store. A lot of the stores were closed, right? So we saw a 5-year jump in um, usage for e-commerce in that 1 year. The following 2 years, we saw it draw back, but it never drew back as much as it gained. So we're still up like 20% over what the normal projection would have been for e-commerce adoption in 2022. So I think that trend's going to continue on. But I'm wondering for e-commerce, have we reached somewhat of not a peak, but I don't know. I mean, I can see the growth continuing, but I don't know. I'm wondering if we're going to see another spike like 2020 for the e-com space.
Mm, that's
That'd be
interesting.
interesting. Yeah, that'd be a
Yeah,
lot.
I mean, I'm surprised to see Amazon stock down so much. I know you follow Amazon a lot. I'm surprised to see like Amazon and Shopify and all of the e-com related stocks sell off the way they have.
It's
'Cause,
tech.
yeah, tech in general. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's tech in general. They're getting drugged down by the tech. I think they will be okay. The Apples will be okay. Shopify, they might have been a little overvalued, you know. So we'll see if they get back to where they were at some point.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So I
But
guess
the
the
opportunity for
yeah,
you and
business
I,
opportunity. Yeah, make money
man,
online. Yeah, all that
yes,
type of stuff. Side hustles, side gigs. That's gonna spike up. I mean, it's already hot right now, and it's gonna get hotter. So I think that's one of the huge trends. And so if you sell anything related to that market or any type of services related to that market, you will even if you're an affiliate in that market, you can do well. Uh, the other thing was second one was Facebook ads
yeah, this
will
is the one I'm
become
waiting on.
more reasonable. I say that mainly because they can't become more unreasonable because they're at like peak unreasonableness right now. So by default, they have to, I mean, Facebook is so focused on Meta and the metaverse and investing in that they kind of let their core business, which was advertising, fall by the waistline and decline, and their stock is off, I think 65% in 2022. So whenever your stock is off 65% in a year, there's gonna be something that changes, and it's gonna be focused on what's the biggest bang, like what's the biggest thing they could change to make the biggest impact, the biggest wave. And it's their core. I think it's their core business, like this. So they're gonna have to look at, like, even Google did this. Like Google, when they first came out with their ads platform, it was it was heaven. It was nirvana. It was like I was buying clicks for 5 and 10 cents a click. I mean, that really kicked my career off. I had affiliates buying traffic like crazy. That propelled me into, selling cookbooks and selling on being a number one person on Amazon in the cooking category for like 3 years, and getting on TV and all the stuff that I accomplished with that book is largely because I caught a trend, which was that super cheap traffic with Google AdWords,
Hmm.
and at the time it was Google AdWords, and having some really good affiliates that was just pumping traffic because cooking, especially recipe and cooking related keywords. So what happened was those same keywords went from 5 to 10 cents to like 75 cents, a dollar, and then Google started banning a lot of accounts because advertisers and marketers ruin everything, right? So marketers came
Right.
in and just were abusing that system, promoting crappy stuff. Not me per se, but just in general. And then Google just started mass banning accounts, and then changed their whole rules, all the parameters, everything that used to be acceptable wasn't acceptable anymore, and they just like made it real strict. And then, within the last 3 years or so, they started letting people advertise again, letting you be free. Like you could advertise BizOp on YouTube all day long. Like you could do it's like they let you get away with stuff that they previously weren't, and you know their revenue went up. I mean, the stock is down with all the tech, but they came back. It's like a complete 180 they did with that. And I think Facebook is going to have the same type of thing. Maybe not as lenient as Google ads, but I think they're gonna, they already started restoring accounts that were banned by the algorithm unfairly. So it's like Facebook right now, the way it is they won't even accept your money, right? You want to give them money to advertise, and they're like, nah, we don't want your money. We don't like what you're advertising because our algorithm said so. 9 times out of 10, it's like some false flag. And then it's like, what gets me about their platform right now is they'll let you advertise, right? And
Hmm.
then they'll approve your ad,
Yeah.
and then they'll be like, you can't run this. Like
Yeah.
you
After you've
approved
been
it.
running, you've had great traffic.
Yeah. The other thing, I'll let you talk in a second, but the other thing I
No.
wanted to say, I was just talking to my wife about this actually, is they have this weird thing where the big advertisers can get away with a lot more than the mom and pop
Yep.
advertisers, right? So they'll tell me like, listen, I don't want this thing that you're advertising on Facebook, and meanwhile I'm sending it to, maybe 100,000 people, maybe, but at the same time, because they say because of the user experience, we don't want this shown in our news feed. But
Hmm.
then they'll let the large advertisers show it to 100 million people, and I'm like, if you really didn't want it in the news feed, how are you going to let them show? You should let me show it because not as many people are seeing it versus letting them just show it to everybody, right? It's like contradictory things going on. What do you think about
Are you finding that like in different industries where you're, or not even just you, but smaller people are getting shut down and larger ad accounts are able to run that same crap?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, all the time. We're in like Facebook ad groups, and they just posted constant examples of that. Like, look, how are they getting away with this? And it's
Right.
because they have an ads manager and they have a huge budget and they're spending millions of dollars a month, and they could just get away with stuff.
Yeah.
So,
It's like you can't say a dollar sign or dollar figure in an ad. And then look
right,
at some other, big ad spend guy, and he's got all these claims on how you're going to make X amount of dollars in 90 days. I'm like, I can't even get one ad to clear on that.
right,
And their
yeah.
whole, yeah. So, but how does this make it cheaper? You're saying it's going to be cheaper because,
I'm saying more reasonable in terms of like accepting certain ads, not necessarily
okay.
cheaper. It may or
Okay.
may not become cheaper. It may become cheaper because it did become cheaper in 2020 when a lot of the big advertisers pulled back,
Moved out. Yeah.
yeah, their budgets, and then just their auction system, it was less demand. So for a period of time, it may become cheaper. And they're trying to compete with YouTube because YouTube is really everybody's going towards more towards YouTube and TikTok. So Facebook, just to compete, they may make it. I don't know. I mean, it remains to be seen, but I could see them, making it more reasonable for people not just to get their ads approved, but also
Yeah.
just to advertise as well. I
Yeah.
mean, they still have Instagram, they still have WhatsApp, they still have a huge inventory of people coming to Facebook. Um, so I really just thought they were being greedy too at some point because their auction system, like they never tell you exactly how the pricing, works
Works.
on a per dollar basis. They just say it's the auction system, and if you're getting charged more, it's either based on your ad quality being low or other people having better ad quality or other people just outbidding you. So you got to bid higher, and then the price just goes up for your ads to be shown. So I just think overall, if they want to make more money, there's just a huge opportunity to just let people give them money, let people advertise, let unban some of these accounts, let people do their thing, you know, and then
In fact,
change their algorithm, their system, their approval system, so it's better at letting ads. So I mean, you could have a good ad that for one or more reasons they don't let through that doesn't do anything negative to the user experience. Just the algorithm doesn't like the ad. So I think they could do better at training their algorithm to let certain ads just go.
and I think they've got levers that they can pull because they can show my ad to more people if they wanted without me having to pay more for that exposure. And if they do that and I start seeing more results, I'm more apt to spend more money. So I think at some level, like you're saying, they've had a lot of hits to their, stuck because people aren't spending as much money on ads. And if you want me to spend more ad money, you give me more ad results, I'll do that. I mean, that's why TikTok is so popular on the advertising front right now. And YouTube, because they're allowing you to build audiences. They're showing it to a lot of people that normally wouldn't see the ad to just prime so that you get more views. And Facebook, I do believe, turned that off somewhat, and that's why it got so expensive.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the other thing was the Apple iOS
oh,
change.
that killed everything.
Yeah, that really that was the start of their big
Yeah,
decline.
that
You
was
know,
that was horrible.
advertisers
For
can't
some, for some.
right. Advertisers can't track properly. I mean, clearly there was somebody at Facebook that pissed off somebody at Apple, and they just like pulled the plug on them, like screw you guys.
Yeah, Apple came to them and said, "Look, here's what we want," and Facebook's like, "No, we're not going to give you that." Apple's like, "Okay, we'll just turn it off."
Right, and like a freaking $1 trillion in lost revenue later,
Yeah, yeah,
lost
like that.
market capitalization later. I bet you they regret that.
Yeah, we
Maybe
should have
maybe
sat
it is an
down.
opportunity.
We should have
Maybe that
talked.
is. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying they should have talked to Apple.
Exactly. Maybe there's an opportunity for them to either work out their tracking somehow or figure it out. I mean, Google doesn't seem to have the same issues with tracking as Apple does. Another reason why a lot of people went to Google ads, Google advertising, and YouTube. So,
No, Google has more tools.
right, true.
All right, what's the next
Uh,
one?
Next one is short form video leading into long form. Leading into long form.
Okay.
So you see the trend of right now of the YouTube Shorts and Facebook Reels, and everybody's trying to compete with TikTok, right? And then TikTok in general is just short form content. And one of the things you can do with short form content is you can build a huge audience with that. So if I'm selling something related to making money online, right? I don't necessarily want to always do videos about making money online. I want to introduce new people into my tribe, into my community that are just searching for regular stuff that might be, related, like mindset stuff, like how to make this the best year ever, or like this topic today, like what was it, the five
Top five
trends going into
trends. Yeah.
2023. This is more of a mainstream type topic where someone might be actually searching for that. What are the five hottest trends in business in 2023 or something like that? So you want to tap into things that because nobody actually like very is a small percentage of people that actually go to Google or go to YouTube and be like, how do I make money online? Compared to someone that goes to Google and searches for uh, how many iPhones does Apple sell or something, like something else, just unrelated topics, not like the keywords, because it's like when you sell business opportunities, there's not much traffic in search compared to other things you could be found for, personal
Mm.
development stuff, manifesting money, or how do I manifest, how do I use the law of attraction? That might be one topic. I have a friend that she had this program, mindset, talking about like how to manifest money was her topic, and she attracted all of these folks that were into law of attraction and manifesting into that topic. They weren't necessarily looking for make money online, but she was able to get them in, and then she could sell them different opportunities related to that. So I think that's an opportunity that people aren't really looking at, but I see some people making a killing doing it. And when I say short form, you can do the short form videos on those topics, lead them into your channel, and then from your channel, you can lead them into a webinar. You can lead them into long form of sales page or a book or some other long form content. But use the short form to kind of bond with them, let them get to know you, see you as a human, talk about topics that they may be searching for, hot trends on the market. What are some hot trends right now that you would do a short form video about?
the top 5 things that are going to do blank in 2023, right? I
Absolutely.
mean, these work like you're saying, like amazingly right now because people are into making some kind of change for 2023. Anytime the new year comes around, there's certain topics you can actually, you know, talk about that people will get involved with. Of course, it's like you said, I mean, how can I make weight loss work for me and make money online? I don't
Weight
know,
loss?
but you can.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, uh, weight loss is all about like what people think of you, right? Like, so it's not just about the weight; it's about the compliments you get with that. It's about like what people say, "Oh, you look great." It's about the social aspect of it. So you could tie it in with like, how to find the man of your dreams, or how to find how to find an affluent man. Like it could be like weight loss could be one of them, but also, an affluent man a lot of times looks for a woman that has her stuff together. I don't mean to try to make this a whole sexist
Right.
type of thing, but
But
you
it's
know,
the
you know,
outcome.
right, right.
Yeah. It's
So
just like
how to
focusing on that outcome, which is not necessarily tied to weight loss in their mind. They just want to attract somebody attractive,
right, right. It's being a better you
being a
overall.
better you.
5 ways to be a better you in 2023.
And you can move people along that line to almost anything that you sell at some point.
Mhm. Or just anything related to if you're doing finances, it could just be related to how to improve your credit, or how to get out of debt, or how to retire early. Like retirement is another huge topic that a lot of people in the make money online space don't branch out into, but it ties right into retirement because people want a second income when they retire. People want to retire early, how to retire early. So that's a topic that someone would search for: how to retire early, or how to make sure my money lasts in retirement. Well, you have this recurring income from this side gig I'm about to give you, that type of thing. So
And and so literally you use the short form videos so people can learn to like and trust you, and then you move them into other longer formatted things where you can get them used to being trained and taught by you. Ultimately, they'll buy your products.
exactly, absolutely, that's a formula. So the more people see you, like, so I used to do this every week. Like I had this thing called Wealth Wednesday. I still have this thing called Wealth Wednesday where I do webinars. I'll bring in outside experts and they'll do a webinar, and they'll pitch their product. But I found that if I do it every week, then people are like, "Oh, just another webinar where you're trying to sell something." One of my best promotions of the entire year was this thing where I just brought people on and I said, "Listen, I've made enough money this year. I hit my goals. I'm good." People always ask me, if you really care about helping people, why don't you just give us something for free that we can do, and then you can make money after we start making money. And I always say, that's, I can't just give away the store. I'm running a business here, but this week we're actually going to do that. We're going to bring you on. You're going to get this thing for free. It's a free webinar, nothing to sell. Everything's free. And you're going to be able to get into this program that we have for free, free training, everything. You don't have to put your wallet away. You don't have to pay nothing. This is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. This could be your big thing heading into 23. And it was like one of our biggest turnouts ever, because people just craved that. They're like, okay, you're not trying to sell me something. And we legitimately weren't selling anything on that presentation. And I still made money from it. but it was like legit exactly what I said it was. And I'll tell you how I made money from it. All right.
Yeah.
I made money from it because the guy paid me per attendee, right? Just in full
Oh.
transparency. So he paid me, if everybody comes on, I'm going to give you X amount. And he was able to make money from it because he got people into this program where they legitimately could make money for free. You don't have to do anything. He gives them all the tools that they need, and he just gets a cut off of all the money that's generated by all these people coming in. So it's kind of like a CPA type of thing, but
Hmm.
it's a win-win-win. Like everybody's winning in that scenario, right?
So how are you going to? Because I know you're always thinking how would you use that as a top of the funnel for a actual paid product?
Yeah, I mean, it's not as easy as it seems. Like he actually was charging for that webinar, that offer. It was $1,000 offer, and I'd ran it, and people paid $1,000 to get in it. But then he changed the
Mhm.
program around and figured he'd make more money if he just lets people in free and let them do the opportunity, and then just makes money from them when they make money. So you really have to know your numbers and have something that people are really going to get in and succeed. And it becomes a mathematical equation, and it's risk. Like it's a risky
There's risk.
proposition because like I could have sent him 1,000 crappy people. He knew, like, we had a relationship. He knew I wasn't going to do that, but you could technically have somebody that does that, and these people come in, and you got to pay this guy, and nobody makes any money but the guy bringing those 1,000 crappy people in. So
Hmm.
it's something I'm thinking about. I haven't quite cracked the code on that yet, but I say that to say I'm not sure what I was about to say. What we're talking about,
We were
short
talking about
form
short form.
video.
Well, I'll bring it all the way back because the reason why I asked you that question is because see, time is money, right? And time is very valuable. But I see a lot of people that will spend a lot of time doing these short form videos, but really have no plan on how to monetize that in the end, right? So it's not just enough for people to say, hey, it's New Year's time. Let's make these short form videos. Here's some great tips and tricks and all this kind of stuff. But they never actually build enough cachet that somebody will go over to their long form video stuff.
Right. They don't know how to monetize or whatnot, and
Yeah.
they don't know how to. Yeah, I mean,
No call to action
no, yeah, the call to
at all.
action. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like if you have a channel and you use these short form videos, and you get 100,000 people to subscribe to your channel, and then take those people that are subscribed to your channel and then push them into an offer. Join me on this webinar. Those folks already know you, and they feel like, okay. Oh, I remember what I was talking about. So I was talking about
Cool.
just using content. I was talking about I had a weekly webinar, and then my list was kind of getting burnt out because they just saw offer after offer. So it helps to come on like we're doing right now,
Mhm.
show your face, give value, don't ask for anything, and just kind of mix that in so that people have gotten something from you, have gotten some type of value from you. So you can do the same thing with these short form videos and to long form. You get them on your channel, they get to know, like, and trust you. And then when you actually have an offer, whether it be like a webinar to get on, whether it be a special that you're having for Valentine's Day or my birthday or New Year's special or whatever it might be. Find any reason, 4th of July or Memorial Day, any reason you can find to have a special, those people will act. Or whether you're getting them in and then giving them something for free, whether it be like a book funnel, like, hey, get my book, and then the book has some offers on the back of that book after they pay for the free shipping or whatnot. There's so many different ways you could take it. Just a lot of people don't know how to monetize, don't know how to make offers, don't know how to have a call to action. All they know is, I'm just going to continue doing these videos. People seem to like it, and then maybe I'll make a couple cents from YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
It's like I got 10 million followers and I can't sell anything. I know
right,
people like this, right? It's
yeah.
not all about the followers.
hmm And those are the people you could reach out to and
Mm,
buy shout outs, buy opportunity. Those are the people you can reach out to and say, hey, I have this webinar and I have this way of monetizing that works. If you refer it to your audience, let me do this presentation. Those are the people that teach you. You can show them how to monetize, and they'll be like, wow, you could buy traffic from them. You could make them affiliates.
that's good. That's good. I like that.
Yeah,
We need those influencers.
exactly. There's actually sites that let you do shout outs, but
Yep.
it's best to try to find um, private folks that are not on the networks. But there's I think it's called Shout Shout Out Advertising. Shout out. If you do a search for shout out advertising, you'll get shoutcart.com, uberlo.com. It's a lot of them. You could buy shout outs from Instagram influencers, but you want to have your stuff together. You want to have something that converts, and you want to test out on a small scale first before you don't just throw $10,000 at that. You put 100 in and see what happens, and then put more if it pans out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you don't want 10,000 people going to your broken link. I mean,
Right. Not just your broken link, but 10,000 people and your offer doesn't convert.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or whatever you're promoting is not like something that any of those folks want. I mean, you could have an offer that converts and then you change the traffic source, try something new, and then but for some reason the messages might be off or something about it where it doesn't actually convert. So
Shout cart. Shout cart. All right. I
yeah,
learned something there.
yeah. You could also use it to get people onto your own social media, onto your own Instagram, onto your own YouTube, onto your own Facebook group or whatever. And it
Which one
does
do
best
you which one do you like best personally? What short form video platform are you
on
interested in at
YouTube.
this point?
YouTube, I'm definitely gonna get more into YouTube this year. I've just
I think
seen
a
it.
lot of people are.
Yeah, I just seen the results of it. Yeah, I
Shouts,
need to focus
shorts.
more on personal branding. Like it's amazing I've gotten this far without ever. I haven't really adopted social media like I should have with the personal branding thing because I'm kind of a private person, believe it or not. I mean, you see
Yeah.
me on Facebook, but the posts you see because you're my friend on Facebook
Yeah.
aren't the posts that the public see. Like I rarely post publicly on Facebook, which is why
Yeah.
I rarely post on Instagram because everything on Instagram is public unless you have a private account. So my account is public, so you rarely see me, posting on Instagram. I need to do more of that, but I want to focus on YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get myself come out of my shell a little bit.
Oh boy. Ooh.
I said I
The
said the same
world
thing
is
last
not
year and the year
ready.
before. What'd you say?
I said the world is not ready.
Yeah. I've been saying the same thing for the past 2, 3 years. I'm able to run, operate a pretty sizable for someone in his basement to be running
Yeah.
a multiple seven-figure business with all these different things. I mean, webinar con's a big part of it, and I have partners like Onik, who's kind of like out of his shell and has been there doing crazy stuff for years, like huge social following and million people on Facebook and hundreds of thousands on YouTube, stuff like that. So I kind of benefit from his overall authority in that way, but I need to do my own.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All
Awesome.
right. So what's
Next,
the next thing? I know you got to go at so let's jump on to the next thing. Keep it moving. So
community.
community, yes, community. So we kind of talked about some of that already, but community will be huge. And you work with Lamar and Traffic Sales and Profit, and he has his community dialed in like nobody I could think of. I mean, he just
Yep.
focuses on that community. They love his message. He knows exactly how to talk to them. Everything he says resonates with them. So it's like focusing on building a community of people where you get to know what makes them tick. They have something in common. They all have a common goals and common things that upset them. What gets them furious? How do you push their buttons? How do you grab their attention? So just having that type of community where they see you as a leader of that community. It could be it could be a Facebook group. It could be, it could be a YouTube page with a bunch of subscribers around a certain topic. But you want to focus on like what is my community? What are the demographics of this community and how do I reach them? And anybody that sees my brand that's a member of, that demographic wants to join that community because the messaging is just so tight and it just talks right to them. So having that gives you a huge advantage, with whatever you do. So you don't want to just make money online. You want to sell, make money online for divorced women over 50 or so, like you want to like narrow it down to people that you can really reach and people that really feel like they're part of that community. And that's just a lame example off the top of my head, but I mean, Lamar has his audience down to, Black entrepreneurs. It's his thing, right? Black small business entrepreneurs who want to grow their business. So, I mean, that's actually a
Pretty much.
really fast growing market. Well, am I saying it right? Or
I'm not going to give away all the secrets, but now I'm teasing. I don't know the secrets, but I mean, there is, um, there. I think there's a unique line that a lot of people might not see. There's a lot of faith-based female over 40. You feel me? It gets
Mhm.
very, very narrow. It's a very unique, and I think the more you get into your community, so you got this big, huge community that might be, you know, the Facebook group. So if we use TSP, that's got 40,000 plus people in the large community, right? Then you've got people that are in his uh, uh, next level, which is like $99 a month kind of vibe. Then you got another level that are, the mastermind level. Then you got a level on top of the mastermind that are, collaborative. So I think you start with the top of the funnel, which is everybody, and then you start finding the ones that are going to move from level to level to level. And once you know where the top level is, it's easier to attract the people at the top of the funnel. Does that make sense?
Absolutely,
And the and
absolutely, it
the
makes a
and the
lot of sense.
tighter your community, here's the other thing: the tighter your community is, the more you can poll them to find out who they are, what they're about, what their interests are. So that's another positive thing about having a community, even if it's a small community. You can use those responses to help attract more people into that community.
Yeah, absolutely. You could also segment via email and tag people based on what they clicked or what they subscribe to, or what they're interested in, because there's no bigger indication of what someone's interested in than their action. So people could
Mm.
say one thing, but if they actually clicked and signed up, it definitely into it, and even more so if they paid for it. If they actually clicked, signed up, and paid for it, then it definitely, those are customers of that particular thing. So, I mean, having a big community helps with all that stuff, and eventually you get to know like what their needs are and how to best offer value that fulfills those needs, and also it leads to people wanting to get together at events and different things. So you could throw events like Lamar throws. I mean, I guess my webinar con community is nowhere near the size of Lamar's community, but we're a tight knit community of scumbags who do webinars online. uh, a tight knit community of people that really look. It's the webinar industry. So pretty much it's the high level webinar industry and the mostly make money online space, some real estate, some personal development, but they come to our event to meet each other and to do deals. It's mainly, I think like 73% of them said
Mm.
that's why they came to WebinarCon. And the others, like 20 something percent, also said they came to look for tips and tricks to improve their conversions, get more traffic. So, but that audience is an audience of high level marketers coming to coming to meet, network, and do deals with other high level marketers. And ironically, you learn things about your audience. My webinar con audience absolutely will not come on a webinar in any way. If I run a webinar and send an email to that list, they will
They're not
not,
coming.
it'll be crickets. Like they don't do webinars. Even Zooms, they hate coming on Zoom. They just hate showing up at any given time unless they really have to. They're like, we do webinars. We don't participate in webinars. I mean, I'll come on. I mean, I guess I'm the same way. I'll wait for the replay, or I'll come on if it's something like really, really
Uh-huh.
important or hyped up or something. I might jump on. Other than that, you know, I
Wow.
don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you
Very
learn
interesting.
stuff
Well, I
about
mean,
that
but
audience.
like you said, you've got cream of the crop, top level. They're not necessarily just coming on for any old thing.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do is I'm gonna stay on um, for a little while and answer some questions, but we're gonna get to the one more thing, and
Oh,
then
this is the big
we're not gonna include the questions in the recording. I'm just gonna kind of, well, maybe
one.
we,
Okay.
depending on how much time we have, I guess, and if we like your question, we may include it in the recording. Uh,
All right. Last big thing. This is the big one.
right, AI, artificial intelligence, will create new product opportunities. I don't know if you guys have
Oh,
seen Chat GPT yet, but it's a really cool free tool where I think I like it best for research purposes. Like you can go there and it uses this artificial. I mean, it's not. It's probably like tip of the iceberg type of AI, and compared to what AI is and what it's gonna be. You
yep.
know, a lot of that stuff is not. We don't have access to yet. You know, the big companies do and the governments do, but we have this thing called Chat GPT where we can go on and you could say, give me the top five. We could say, give me the top. I went on and I said, give me a top 10 sales objections and how to handle them, how to address them for a sales rep, and it produced different things. You could say, you know, I have a demographic of over 40 uh, faith-based Black entrepreneurs like traffic, sales, and profit. Give me a marketing plan to reach them, including headlines, emails. You could have it write emails, follow-up emails. You could have it write articles. You could have it do all that type of stuff, and it will do it for you based on the input, the prompts that you give it. Have you played around with it much?
Oh, yes. It's it'll suck you in very quickly, And like you said, I like it for the research capabilities. I'll take what it's doing, I'll put my own spin on it, then repurpose it and put it back into it, you know, and use that as the prompt for the next thing. So it's very interesting, but it's a tool.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I don't see it as artificial intelligence as much as I see it as just a collection of information on the internet. Honestly, I mean, like if you search hard enough in Google, you probably can find a lot of that stuff. I know you had a post about
Right.
a lot of that
Yeah.
stuff. So I don't see it as like using artificial intelligence to create some new thing. I just see it as taking a lot of intelligence. It's just a collection of information online, a collaborative collection of just information everywhere, and just taking what it says and putting it together, compiling it. It's like more of like a compilation of information. It could, I mean, I haven't played with it enough and know enough about it. It probably can do some magical stuff that I haven't even thought of yet. I know it could do some type of
It's
coding and programming and stuff like
yeah,
that. I know there's other ones too, like Jasper.ai was a
all the
sponsor of
same,
WebinarCon.
all the same.
Yeah, they're all the same. So people
Yeah,
use
that's
that
got the
for
same
sales
back end.
copy.
Let's put it like this: the Open AI is the same back end. You
Right,
know?
it's all using the same backend,
Yeah.
Jasper and Jarvis. So Jarvis is what it's based on.
No, no. Jarvis, or is it Jarvis now? No, Jarvis is gone. Jasper is Jarvis. So,
Oh,
but
okay, gotcha,
Jasper, yeah, yeah. So, but Jasper has the same back end as Chat GPT. Okay.
gotcha.
And then, like, you might have some of these other AI writers, like Writer, which is write with an R. There's a couple of other ones that are out there, but they all use the same back end. And the deal is to access this back end, you know, mainframe, for lack of a better term. All right. To access it, there is a cost. See, but Chat GPT, they're using it as a loss leader. So a lot of us are getting all this information for free. They're actually paying for that, access to the API. So at some point, you know, get in while they get in is good, because at some point they're going to charge you, just like
Mhm.
Jasper does, you know.
Right.
But it's fascinating to see what it's able to do, and the real key thing is, like, they call it chat. So it's that you're able to use natural language to speak to it. I don't have to have specific commands. That's why you said, like, if I can find a lot of that same stuff on Google, but I need to know how to syntax the phrasing so that I get the right response. With ChatGPT, the actual AI is that it understands what you're trying to ask it, and it will bring you back that response specific to what you're asking,
Mm.
as opposed
So
to just a bunch of lists, right, of things.
right, right, and it gets
Crazy.
deeper. And there's my buddy Sean Vossler. He's creating this thing called prompt sauce. Prompt sauce. Like it's going to teach you different
How to
prompts and
prompt
how
it.
to use it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
how to
yeah.
so use these prompts to enter it into Chat GPT and Jasper, and it's able to produce amazing things from it based on the prompt. So it's only as good as what
The
you're
prompts.
asking it. Right,
Right.
the prompt. So I see it. People. It's an open type of API, right? So people can create software. They can create things on the back of that.
Yep.
So I see it, and this year I see a lot of, it's going to be the little JV Zoo software products that come out trying to, say it does this and that. It's going to be some real like enterprise level like software stuff that comes out on the back of that as well. And I see it, people are going to be using it as a service. I can see someone on
Yes.
Fiverr using it as like an article writing service or sales copy creation service or a email follow up. I'll write 10 email follow ups. You could tell it like I need a year's worth of email follow ups based on this criteria, and it probably produce that for you.
I
So
wonder how far it will go, because it will go pretty far.
yeah, yeah,
It's writing whole, like scenarios right now.
yeah. No, it's writing books. It could do a
It's
whole
writing
book for
books.
you. You
Yeah.
know, you could tell it like write me a book based on the writing style of whatever famous author, Shakespeare or whatever the famous author you wanna put in, J.K. Rowling or whatever
Yep.
writing style you could think of. It will write something based on their style. Or you
Yep.
could say, write me an email based on the comedic style of Bill Burr, and on this topic. Write me an email on this topic in the voice of Bill Burr or Dave Chappelle or Eddie Murphy or whoever, and it will do it, and it would sound just like something that they would say from the stage. So
I'm gonna go do that right now.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. You
I
literally
forget
can.
about that. You can
Yeah,
tell it how to write. Hmm.
right.
It's
But
it's insane.
beyond that, maybe not this year, but in the near future, you're going to see AI being attached to robotics, where it's going to be able to, they already have restaurants like the back end of different restaurants, McDonald's and different places, Subway. They're already like using these robotics to do certain things, but you're going to see it create. There's this thing called 3D printing, and you can have entire houses created from 3D print machines where
Yep.
where like uses like 3D prints cement, and then like it's amazing. You can YouTube it and
Yeah.
see actual house, man. It's like being built in like a week rather than like a year that would normally take to build an entire house based on
How is
3D
that going
printing.
to change the world, right?
Yeah, especially I mean if you're a real estate
So,
investor, I imagine.
so
But
here's the
like they
deal.
say that America alone has a shortage of about 4 million houses that need to be built to accommodate the demand from everybody. Imagine if they went in with these, you know, 3D printed houses or these, they have the other ones with uh, the blocks. They build it, container,
Prefabs. Oh, containers. Oh yeah,
container
yeah.
built houses. Yeah, yeah.
I want one of
Tommy
those.
was actually talking about that last weekend. Was talking about he's gonna get a fourplex built out of containers somewhere in Mississippi and
I
rent
heard
them out.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You
So,
can do that. I like that idea. I see. So it's like 5 years ago, IBM called me in, and a bunch of other, tech guys, and they showed us Watson AI, which Watson was like the original. That was the thing that beat the Jeopardy champion and all that, right?
right,
And so
right.
they brought us in and showed us what they were doing with AI. And I just like you in the intro where you talked about this, what's going on with business intelligent AI is a whole nother level than what we're seeing on chat, GPT. It's absolutely amazing what they're doing, like in the medical fields, right? Where you get a biopsy They take that imagery and they can run it through the AI and it can tell you whether or not it's benign or not. You
Mm.
know, it's based on all of the information that it's able to do. And it's able to do that and help actual, doctors with their plan and the way they go and attack, cancer patients. This is happening. It's all there right now. But one of the main things that I took away was that AI was the tool. It wasn't replacing the doctor. It helps the doctor become more efficient so that the doctor can make the right decisions on how to, move forward with these kind of diseases. So we pull that down into our level, the general public. You look at something like Chat GPT as a tool that will make you a better business owner, a better writer, a better e-commerce guy that needs to know how to write, descriptions and all that kind of stuff. It's just a tool. It's not going to replace everybody. Don't freak out yet.
Not yet, not yet.
That's
But
the
then
key word.
I was watching a video about it, doing a little research, and they said that it's a dangerous thing because it could just be like kind of like they say in the movies, like artificial intelligence becomes this engine of all intelligence and becomes more intelligent than all of the world's humans put together, where it could be used for good or for evil, and then it becomes a thing where who has access to it or not. It could be good in terms of like all diseases. Like instead of our researchers trying to figure out cancer, you have this artificial intelligence that knows everything that they know combined. That figures it out. That could be where this is headed. Where you know,
We don't need them
it's
anymore.
right. You just have just artificial intelligence that knows all things that's
There,
possible to be known.
therein lies the future.
Exactly. Exactly. I
Ron,
think we'll end it on that. I know you got to jump off. I'm gonna answer a few questions, but guys, be sure if you're watching this on John's channel, be sure to subscribe to his channel. And if you're watching it on mine, we're gonna put this on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, smash that subscribe button, and
smash it.
get more cool stuff like this.
Thanks, brother. We'll talk
All right.
soon, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk soon.
Deuces.
Take care, John. Let's see.